Hello, this is SSB Rye, and today we'll be going over the case of Ebby Steppach. Ebby was born on March 31st, 1997 in Little Rock, Arkansas. While Ebby's mom, Lori, says the two had a very close relationship, Ebby was actually bouncing between her grandma's place and that of a few close friends at the time of her disappearance. Given her newfound independence, Ebby decided to attend a party on the night of Friday, October 23rd, 2015. This is when things started to spiral out of control. The next morning, when she arrived at her grandmother's house, she texted one of her friends to let him know that at the party, her encounter with one of the males there had been videotaped and that she did indeed feel as though she had been forced into the encounter.
The next morning, she sent a frightening text message to her friend Gage Fulton, and now Gage reads that text out loud on a phone call to private investigator Monty Vickers, who records the conversation.
I was hanging with some dudes last night, and we smoked, and I had sex with one of them, and he recorded me, dude, like when I wasn't looking.
Videotaped during a sexual encounter. Ebby doesn't tell Gage who did it, but he tells Vickers that she is horrified and confused.
Did she tell you that she was raped?
She said she felt forced into it. Her last text message to me is, I'm going to go kill myself.
That evening, she texted her stepfather, Michael, to let him know what had happened and if he could go to the police with her. Since he was eating dinner, he told her that he would after he finished. This would be the last time Michael would speak to Ebby while she was still alive. Not too long after, he called Ebby's grandmother to see if Ebby was there, but the grandma let him know that she had already left to meet up with him, even though they had not settled on a location to meet up during their call. Later, we do find out that Ebby has been contacting the guys who she believed had been involved with the videotape and threatening them to give her the video or she would go to the police, but we do not know if any of them responded to her or if she went and met one of these guys, but she could have gone somewhere else. While none of my research gives me a clear picture of what exactly the family was doing while Ebby was God knows where, it seems that they were worried for Ebby, but not really panicked yet. The panic started to settle in when, the next day, Ebby finally answered one of her brother's calls to her, and she told him that she was outside his house, only when he goes out, she wasn't there. He calls her back to tell her that he doesn't see her, at which point Ebby tells him that she's pretty messed up and doesn't know exactly where she is, but that she is inside her car. This is the last time anyone has contact with Ebby while she was still alive. At this point, the brother calls the police immediately after the call to get them to assist them in looking for her car, and a few days later, her car is found in the parking lot of Shalimont Park without Ebby. Most worryingly, personal items such as her contact lenses and her phone are found in the car. And yet, Ebby's mom says that no matter how hard she tried, she had a tough time convincing the detectives at Little Rock to treat the case as anything more than a runaway case. Shockingly, in an interview with Crime Watch Daily, Guy Hooper, a security guard at Shalimont Park who alerted the police to Ebby's car's location, said the detectives did not interview him for a whole year. This was not the only dismissive and incompetent action taken by their Little Rock Police Department. By 2017, Lori and the rest of the family had had it with the police's inept mishandling of the case and went on the Dr. Phil show to air out their frustrations and hopefully galvanize the police into more action.
You're frustrated here because you think law enforcement made a lot of mistakes here, right?
That's a really nice way to put it. I believe we would know where our daughter is had they not mishandled her case.
Well, according to Ebby's parents, these are the things they think were done wrong. They weren't allowed to report Ebby's missing until 12 hours had passed. The original detective assigned to the case was a newbie. Park security guard was to alert the police about an abandoned car, but the police didn't follow up for 3 days. The police did not make a connection that it was Ebby's right away, despite her name being listed on the title. And police did not retrieve the dash cam video of a security guard who patrolled the park when Ebby's car was found. And police did not review all Walmart security footage 1 mile from the park. And now the footage has been deleted. And the police did not formally interview all the boys accused by Ebby of being involved in this sexual assault.
It would not be until a year later when a close family friend of Ebby's went back to Shalimont Park and called 911 due to a smell she got from a nearby drain.
Kaylee and her mom Margie went to Shalimont Park to see if Kaylee picked up on any clues.
I got to right about here, and I just got hit with the smell of decomposition.
Margie says she called for Kaylee to head back to the car.
I didn't want her to smell it. And then she kept asking me why, and I said I smelled decomposition coming from that drain.
That's when Margie says she called 911.
911, what's the location emergency?
I just came out of a meeting with Detective Williams in regards to a missing person named Ebby.
Okay.
We were able to get one of those 911 calls from the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office. One of the calls was routed there.
I brought my daughter here, who's a friend of hers, and we just started walking around, and I could smell decomposition. So I was just tried to call his phone, and he didn't call me back. Could you send somebody here to investigate?
PCSO then calls LRPD dispatch to relay the information, where the dispatcher waits more than 2 minutes for a supervisor to come to the phone before the line goes dead. The dispatcher called again and spoke to a different LRPD dispatcher before speaking with an unidentified woman. That's when the information was relayed.
She said she smelled something decomposing, and she was worried that may be related to the case somehow.
Foley claims she called at least 3 times. Little Rock Police Department claims their 911 record system wipes clean every 30 days. She says more than an hour passed before LRPD officers showed up at the scene.
I was kind of dismissed by him.
The police did eventually show up with excavators, and tragically, they found Ebby's body in a drain pipe just 60 feet from where her car had been found 3 years prior. After the remains were found, Lori understandably expressed her bitterness with how things were handled and said that while nothing would have changed the fact that Ebby had died where she did, the timing of finding her could have changed so many things. She truly believes that had Ebby been found a week after she went missing, they probably would have found out who had done this to her by now. I definitely think she's justified in believing this, but the biggest takeaway for me is how shockingly bad this case was handled. I cannot believe that at the time of their investigation, they didn't even talk to all the guys accused by Ebby of videotaping her that night, and currently, while they may have spoken to all of them, they never searched their phones for the video or text messages that they may have exchanged with Ebby the day she went missing. Of course, they also did not talk to potentially key witnesses until much later than they should have, like the security guard at the park. And finally, they get a 911 call about a smell of decomposition at the park where Ebby's car was found and act dismissively towards her, and then when they do find her body there, they take all the credit.
You hear the stories of people, I see it, sometimes people saying that they went out there and they smelled decomposition and stuff like that. It's no way. No way. Based on where she was in there, there's no way somebody would have been able to smell that.
Besides that, I also think that while Ebby was 18 at the time and legally an adult, so she technically could live wherever she chose to, she was still in high school, and I truly do believe that her case would not have the mystery surrounding it as it does right now if she were still living at home. That's not to say that I'm blaming the parents. I think they were doing the best that they could with Ebby, but I do think that had she been living at home, there wouldn't be quite as many mysteries surrounding where she was and when she was at those places. Regardless, my ultimate hope is that they do find whoever did this to her, and that we have better laws regarding adults who go missing. But what do you think of this case? If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And as always, this has been SSB Rye. See you next time.